So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our OFW series. And today ay meron po tayong napaka-special na guest na ating papagkwentuhan today about her life here in Cambodia. So, without further ado, hi, Mel.
Hello,
It's been a while actually since last time nakita, di ba?
Yes.
Murag? Oh, wait, Bisaya. I think kato last is
Nakalimutan ko na. I forgot. Kasi super matagal na.
Oo, true. Months na. So, I think ngayon nagkita ulit. And finally, we're able to do this interview with Mel. So, ay gusto lang natin na malaman about her story being an OFW here in Cambodia. So, pero ang unang question natin is, if you could describe Cambodia in 3 words, what would it be?
Oh, Cambodia is very, lang siya. Chill, laid back lang siya. Tapos, yung lifestyle dito is very simple and cheap.
Yep. Even if dollarized yung economy ng Cambodia,
Yeah.
it's still quite, I would say, reasonable naman life dito. So, that is chill, laid back, and
cheap lang.
and cheap. Okay. So, siguro, you can tell us more about yourself para makilala ka din ng ating mga viewers.
Okay, so my name is Melisent, but my friends calls me Mel. I'm a Filipino teacher here in Cambodia, but I'm not originally a teacher. Ito lang yung journey ko napunta lang sa pagiging teacher dito sa Cambodia. And I am 35 years old na. I am married and I live here in Phnom Penh with my husband who works as an engineer. Tapos, I am the kind of person lang naman na very simple. I love to make time with my friends, with the people I love. And now, I am focusing more on taking care of myself. Tapos, exploring new places, kahit within the city lang. Travel. I love to travel with friends pag may nagyaya or kapag may time. So, yan, I'm that kind of person. I'm very active din I'm involved in a choir community here sa church and sa charity community.
Pero originally, Mel, where did you come from in the Philippines?
Oh, I grew up in Ormoc City, Philippines, Leyte.
Yeah.
Yes.
And ano nga yung language ng Ormoc?
Bisaya
Bisaya,
din siya.
like,
Bisaya din siya.
I mean, Bisaya has different types like
Yeah.
Negros Bisaya,
Yeah.
Cebu Bisaya. Iba din yung Bisaya sa inyo.
Yeah, I think
kind
sa
of.
Ormoc, more on parang, especially ngayon, this generation, more on parang na-adapt namin yung sa Cebu na
Cebuano na
Cebuano
Bisaya.
na pagka-Bisaya.
I see. And tapos, sabi mo na you came here as a teacher,
Yes.
but your background is not really a teacher,
Yes.
right? So, can you tell us about your background?
Yeah, talaga ako, I finished hotel and restaurant management. And then right after that, I worked as a front office receptionist, which is very related sa aking course. So siguro, I don't know, nung napunta kasi ako dito sa Cambodia, hindi ko alam kung anong magiging path ko. And then, yun na lang, na-surprise na lang ako na I ended up teaching children, which is para sa akin kasi looking back, parang andyan din naman na siya sa akin. Parang yun yung gusto ko. And yun yung talaga yung gusto kong gawin. Kaso alam mo yun, parang napapatanong lang din ako sa sarili ko, bakit ko nga ba hindi na lang pinurso kung magti-teach na lang din pala ako dito. So ayun, but yes, I was in a hospitality industry talaga.
Pero you always thought of yourself of working abroad when way back yung nasa Pinas ka pa.
Oh yes, kasi I grew up with young adults kasi like my titos and titas na nasa abroad talaga sila. Tas kami yung mga bata dati na laging nabibigyan ng mga pasalubong sa mga packages, package from Japan, package from Saudi, mga ganyan. So I grew up with those with that kind of environment. So parang ako, Tapos bata at that time, parang gusto ko itong gawin. Parang gusto ko ding, ako din magpapadala din ako ng package. Ganyan
Iba yung yung joy, no? Na pag nakita mo yung package, especially sa generation natin na we grew up with having our titas working abroad, tapos may mga natatanggap tayo. Like, it's just so cool to be able to do that like, in the future.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so why did you choose Cambodia?
Originally, I did not choose Cambodia kasi I had an opportunity talaga originally sa Qatar. It was a pre-opening hotel sa Qatar at the time. And then, yun nga, kasi yung Cambodia, it was chosen by my husband. And siguro, parang, talaga siya, hindi siya planado, hindi din siya yung kusang parang pinili, parang naging lang siya, naging opening opportunity for us. Oo. Nagko-compromise kami ng asawa ko kung saan ba talaga ako, if mag-LDR ba kami or magsasama kami sa Cambodia. So, we are planning for the future na kasi. So, yun, ginive up ko yung Qatar. And then, sumama ako sa kanya dito sa Cambodia.
I see. Nung napag-decidean mo na okay, pupunta na ako ng Cambodia, I will go with my husband. Do you have any expectations sa country?
Yung expectations ko lang, yes, I have a few. Kasi before coming here,
did you know anything about the country?
No. Yung parang, ang alam ko lang Thailand, Vietnam. And nung yung Cambodia, doon kami na-research na ano bang meron doon. And doon namin nalaman na very simple siya. And most of the comments na doon sa Google Map, siyang underrated na country na parang hindi siya yung mapag-iisipan mong puntahan. Pero pag napunta ka dito, ang dami palang magagandang
pero
lugar.
si husband mo pala is na-offeran siya ng work ng Cambodia or siya talagang naghanap ng work sa Cambodia?
Naghanap nito. Alam mo yun, kasi andun kami sa point ng life namin na parang magsasettle down na. So parang hindi na kami yung tipong parang mamimili kung saan kami mag-work, kung saan kami kung ano yung nakalatag sa amin na opportunity. At that time, yun yung ginagrab namin. Kasi before coming here, we came from Maldives din. And then, the experience that we had there was hindi siya ganun kaano. Tapos, knowing Maldives, island kasi siya, di ba? So, yung iniisip ko sa Cambodia talaga, sabi ko, ay, city siya. Hala, may mga malls, may mabibilhan ka talaga, hindi mo kailangang makipagsagupaan sa mga malalaking waves just to buy something. So, ayun.
So, pagdating mo ba dito, na-meet niyo yung expectation mo or it surprised you in a different way?
Na-surprised ako kasi talaga, nung pagkadating namin dito sa Cambodia, parang may hinahanap akong parang kumbaga may hinahanap ako kung sa tao may hinahanap akong parang scent niya na parang masasabi ko Cambodia to kasi coming from a Muslim country kasi
Muslim ang Maldives?
Yeah, Maldives is a Muslim country. So parang siya, parang may mga alam mo naman yung mga pabango nila, di ba? So parang yun siguro yung hinahanap ko na klaseng scent. So pagdating dito, na-shock ako na ay, okay, parang Pinas lang siya. Alam mo yun, parang Pinas lang siya in a way dahil siguro sa weather, sa ganon. Tapos yung culture din nila, very family-oriented din yung mga tao dito. So yun, masasabi kong hindi masyadong na-meet yung expectations ko. Oo, kasi yung ano ko talaga, sinet ko sa isip ko is para siya, baka yung Cambodia, since city siya, at may malaking buildings, parang Singapore vibe, parang gano'n. Pero hindi pala, hindi siya. Very simple lang talaga.
I see. So, pag-usapan naman natin yung current living arrangement nyo dito sa Cambodia. Saan kayo nakatira? Ano yung, what your day-to-day life looks like? Gano'n.
So, sa ngayon, nakatira kami sa tinatawag dito na Tul Tumpong na lugar. Yung Tul Tumpong kasi na place sa Phnom Penh is para siyang hindi naman siya super sentro, pero andun lahat. Iba't ibang saring.
You don't need to go out.
Yeah. Pagkababa mo sa apartment mo, andun na lahat. Mag-shopping ka ng mga damit, andun. Gusto mo ng fast food, andun. Kahit mga Filipino restaurants, andun din. So, everything is there. May market, may wet market, supermarket. So, parang andun talaga lahat. And then, wala lang, yung gigising ka sa umaga, very, siya. Ngayon kasi sa buhay namin ni Mike ngayon, sa point ng life namin, hindi na kami yung tipong parang laging nagmamadali. Yung parang
nice.
yung parang gigising ka, tapos magkakape, tapos magliligpit, maglalaba, do the house chores or whatever, tapos manonood ng movie, or kung weekdays man, ganun, coffee, then going to work, then babalik sa bahay ng parang hindi yung parang nagmamadali.
Yeah. So, if I describe how you live your life here with your husband, it's like very intentional. Like,
Yes.
there is a certain pace na masasabi mo talaga na you're just living the day.
Yeah.
Kasi sa Pinas kasi, of course, we've been there, we've worked in the Philippines. Grabe yung parang may hinahabol tayo parati. And
Totoo yun.
we're always tired mentally, physically, emotionally,
Oo.
diba? And parang naging sanctuary talaga tong Cambodia na.
Yes.
Like, I can just relate to you because that's also how I find it. So parang I feel like I'm living my life more intentionally here and just living in the present.
Yeah, totoo.
So more about yung mga nagustuhan natin. Is there anything that you dislike? Maybe just one thing. Of course, hindi naman perfect lahat ng bansa, lahat ng lugar. So, ano yung dislike, pero in a way na sana mas ma-improve nila dito?
Oh yes. Sa akin naman is, number one talaga, I'm sorry to say, but I hope they will take it as constructive criticism na kung ano man. Kasi number one is yung talaga, yung mga sasakyan dito. Like, I hope they would follow traffic rules, mga ganon na, kasi, alam mo yun, yung nakakatakot. Kung sa Ormoc, nagmumotor ako, dito natatakot talaga ako. Kasi kahit ikaw mismo sa sarili mo, nag-iingat ka man, but alam mo yun, mga nakasabayan mo talaga is some of them are very aggressive talaga sa road.
But I think it's very typical of like third world countries na hindi talaga ganun ka, alam mo yun, regulated yung traffic. Pero sideway lang, fun fact, dito ako na-learn magmotor sa Cambodia. Hindi ako nagmumotor sa Pinas before. So parang na-test talaga yung rough road sa akin. So parang, if you live here long enough, you can, nakaka-adapt ka.
Yes,
But
totoo.
you just have to be extra careful.
Yeah.
So, yun talaga. Kung i-share din sa amin yung living cost nyo. I mean, hindi exact amount. Maybe
Okay,
just
sure.
a range. So, if ever may mga viewers tayo na they have plans of exploring work here, they have a rough estimate kung magkano yung kanilang magagastos in a month.
Okay. Kami kasi ni Mike, hindi same. Okay, sa bahay lang, tipid-tipid mo na. So, depende kasi sa kailangan mo at kung anong klaseng lifestyle meron ka. So, dito, number one, yung apartment, depende din doon yun kung anong klaseng apartment gusto mo. Pero yung apartment kasi namin, it costs $250 per month. Libre na yung water, pero kailangan magbayad ng electricity. Tapos, parking is free din. Tapos, ano pa ba? Like, foods. Shopping. So, roughly, I could say, masasabi ko, $1,000 per month. $1,000.
That's roughly around 61,000 in Philippine peso sa conversion ngayon.
Pero again, depende yun sa kung magkano ang sinasahod mo. Depende yun kung paano mo, alam mo yun, gamitin yung money.
Yeah. Dual income household. So, 1,000 na pag nasa-share nyo, di ba? So, mas nakakatipid ka. Depends sa lifestyle
Kasi
nyo.
minsan, pag may $250, tapos, let's say ngayon, ang init-init ngayon dito sa Cambodia. So, yung kuryente namin, umaabot ng $100.
Okay.
Something.
I see.
Oo.
How about yung mga bilihin naman? Like, nagluluto ka ba? Saan ka na mamalengke? How much usually yung grocery mo, like, say, in a week or in a month?
Kami ngayon, very rare lang kami mamalengke. So, mostly nasa supermarket talaga kami namimili ng mga
which is,
pagkain.
I think, mas expensive compared sa local market.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then, ano kasi siya, yung parang less hassle na din sa part mo kasi yung pagka-slice, yung pagkalinis ng fish,
So,
lahat.
more on the convenience side na.
Yes, oo. So, $50 to $100. Well, let's say $70 a week.
$70 a week. Siguro, I would say na mas mura siya compared sa living in Manila. Dito kasi sa Cambodia, especially in Phnom Penh, kasi we're at the city center.
Yeah.
So usually, yung mga produce, mabiyahe pa from the provinces going here. So it would cost, especially sa supermarket.
Lalo na yung seafood.
Yes, pero kung ano naman siguro, no, kung mahilig naman kayong malengke, magluto, makakatipid ka rin if you go to the local market. Diba? So it really depends sa lifestyle mo. Kung busy ka, edi mag-supermarket ka na lang.
Marami kang time. Di go palengke ka.
True. I see. You would really need to factor it out. Pag, kunwari, naka-receive kayo ng offer, and it really depends from person to person. Pwede ka ding mas magtipid, diba? Depende sa goals mo sa buhay.
Totoo.
Technically. Can you walk us through yung typical day? Kasi maraming Filipino teachers dito and mostly sa mga primary schools, diba?
Yeah.
So, yun. So, ano ba yung typical work day mo as a primary school teacher?
Okay, ako kasi yung mga students ko are babies talaga. So, kumbaga sa atin, nasa daycare ako, pero dito tinatawag nilang nursery. Tapos, yun, gigising ka ng maaga, kasi magpe-prepare ka, magluluto ka pang baon mo, pang breakfast mo, and then pagkadating mo sa work, syempre mag-scan in ka. So ganito yung routine ko, papasok sa teacher's room, mag-prepare ng mga worksheets or activities na gagamitin ko sa araw na yan for my kids, for my students, ganon. And then in a day, I have 4 hours to teach. So English, then IEYC, that is an International Early Years Curriculum. So, para siyang parang play-based siya na subject. Basic life skills, kumbaga. Then, basic math, numeracy, mga ganyan. Tapos, again, IEYC at may PE din. Playground, free play siya.
What is the best part about doing that, being a primary school teacher, and what is just one challenge na ma-highlight mo at your work?
Okay, so I've been teaching with kids like more than 5 years. So parang masasabi ko talaga the greatest reward or alam mo yun, yung fulfilling na pakiramdam teaching young kids is alam mo yung parang na-share ka, yung may impact ka sa mga batang yun. And yun, brutally honest. So, I would really sometimes love to talk with them kasi minsan kiramdam ko pa lang sila yung nagsasabi ng totoo.
Yeah.
So, minsan kapag nagagandahan sila sa dress ko or sa damit ko, sasabi, you're beautiful today. You look pretty,
really
teacher.
nice.
You look cute, teacher. Pero pag hindi, tatanungin ko sila, do I look pretty today? Ay, pag hindi talaga maganda ka sa paningin nila, no ka talaga, X ka sa kanila. Pag in a way na makikita mo yung mga tinuturo mo sa kanila na ina-apply talaga nila, like very basic, washing their hands. Sometimes maririnig mo na lang, hindi na ako kailangan mismo yung magre-remind sa kanila, kundi sila na sa isa't isa. Teacher Mel said, wash your hands first. Gaganap sila.
Yep.
And then, siguro yung very challenging lang din talaga, no, is yung every first month of the school year, yung
Bago yung mga students ba?
Oo, yung separation anxiety ng mga bata sa kanilang parents. Paano mo sila patahanin? May mga batang madali lang patahanin. Meron din, most of them talaga, ang hirap. May iba nga 1 month
Grabe.
aabot ng 1 month hanggang makasettle sila. Kahit naging clown ka na, naging ka na. So, ang dami. Lahat gagawin mo talaga.
I see. So, ang ganda ng fulfillment, no? Na yung nasi-share mo sa mga bata, you see them grow. Yun yung parang take away ko sa sinabi mo. nakakataba ng puso siguro to know na may impact ka na nabigay or nabigay sa buhay ng mga batang yun. Ang nice din sa mga Filipino teachers is that they're very patient and hindi tayo madaling sumuko. So I also have a lot of friends na teachers din dito. So I always hear the same stories no na patience talaga is the key. Kung gusto mo maging teacher dito, kailangan maging patient. And siguro kailangan mo din nung parang ano sa loob mo na gusto mo talagang makabigay ng impact sa mga batang to. Ang mindset na, okay, I'm here as an instrument ni Lord na tulungan itong mga batang ito. And hopefully, they will become good people in the future. Better human beings na makaka-help din sa economy nila, sa country nila. Diba? So, we go to like a bit a serious part of the discussion of our conversation. So, of course, no, Filipino, ang daming expectation from us, ang daming kala nila, kung OFW ka, eto ka, ganito ka. So, pag-usapan natin. Do you feel any pressure ba na to provide for your family? Or if nagpo-provide ka or nag-support ka pa ng family mo in the Philippines, do you feel any pressure to...
Okay. Before, when I was, yung solo lang ako.
Single ka pa?
Single pa ako. Medyo nabibigatan ako konti. Napi-pressure ako at medyo nabibigatan ako. But now that I am married, I am very just grateful that God gave me a partner na very good provider sa akin. Not just sa akin, kundi sa family niya din mismo. Anyone na nangangailangan ng tulong, andyan siya kung meron lang din naman. So ngayon, hindi na siya ganun kabigat kasi feeling ko may katuwang ako. And sa amin kasing mag-asawa, hindi namin issue kung tutulong siya sa family niya. Okay, kung tutulong siya sa family ko, okay lang din. Or ako tutulong ko sa family ko. Hindi siya issue. Kumbaga, we know and we understand na kailangan namin talaga mag-lend ng help sa families namin.
Ayun, naalala ko na yung term, misconception.
Misconception.
So para sa'yo, ano yung number one na misconception about OFWs na gusto mong baguhin sa mindset ng mga Pinoy?
Siguro ito very cliche, very common na to. Yung parang akala nilang dami-dami talaga nating pera. Siguro kasi nakikita kasi nila sa social media, yung pinapakita kasi natin is mga happy moments. For sure. Alam naman, ipakita natin yung mga,
di ba?
mga nahihirapan kami. So parang akala nila marami tayong pera, parang ang yaman-yaman mo na as an OFW. Siguro may iba, kasi siguro hindi naman kasi lahat may bigger, malalaking income or malalaking salary. Depende kasi sa position mo, anong trabaho mo, paano mo i-save yung money mo. But then again, yun yung parang akala nila masaya lang tayo dito, parang magaan lang yung life, parang successful na siya, tsaka dyan na siya sa dream.
Malaki yung sahod, malaki na yung expense mo, diba? Provide ka pa.
Totoo. Tapos, ayun, yun lang naman. Tapos, ano pa ba? Ayun, akala nila, alam mo yun, parang madali lang dito. Kasi, looking back kasi nung nasa Pinas pa ako, yung may ideal ako na, parang idea of becoming an OFW is parang, mag-explore ako sa ganitong bansa. Nakikita ko yung mga friends ko na andun na sa ganitong lugar, parang ang ganda ng life nila. Siguro magiging ganun din ako. But no, when you land in a foreign, pag nakarating ka na sa country, sa destination mo, reality hits you na, hindi pala siya ganun. Hindi pala siya ganun.
So, ayun. So, I hope na mas maging kinder kayo sa mga OFW. Kasi, iba yung experience dito. Being alone, malayo ka sa family mo. So, ayun. So, thank you, Mel, for that. So, let's move on to your relationships and community. Who do you spend your time with? How do you choose to spend your time in Cambodia?
Okay. Yes. You know what? If mapunta man kayo as an OFW talaga, number one is kailangan yung maging maingat talaga sa makilalanin yung tao. Kasi, no offense, marami din naman kasi talagang kapwa lang natin na parang napapahamak tayo. But then, being a part of a right community is very helpful to keep your sanity. Alam mo yun? Kasi Kasi malayo tayo sa families natin. So para sa akin personally, nakakatulong talaga yung friends ko sa akin at kung saan community man ako naging part ngayon. Kasi sila yung masasabi kong aside from my husband, they are my biggest support system. Kasi alam mo yun, nasasabi ko, nakikwento ko sa kanila yung mga deepest hindi naman secrets, pero yung mga hindi ko masyadong na-verbalize na mga na-feel ko or mga na-experience ko dito as an OFW. But, sharing it with them, natutulungan akong i-process yung mga bagay-bagay na mga pinagdadaanan ko. And alam mo yun, it makes me feel better talaga, lighter, na parang, kasi, hindi lang pala ako nakaka-feel nito. Hindi lang pala ako yung parang feeling ko, parang alone ako sa journey na to. Kasi marami, kumbaga may kasangga ka. May kasangga ka outside from your relationship with, if married ka man, may husband ka. So, friends are very important.
Like, you're not alone in this journey. And kung ano yung mga na-experience, minsan na-experience din nila. Diba?
Totoo.
Kung may mga tips sila kung paano nila na-overcome yung mga problems na yun, you could also learn from them. So, really very important yung community at support system whenever sa akin din. If you are an OFW. So, I'm just thankful na we find that community here. Strong yung, actually, yung Filipino community here in Cambodia, aside from doon sa sinabi mo na you have to be really careful. Kasi may iba-iba talagang klase ng tao. But if you find your tribe, you would really kind of like grow with them. Not necessarily the same kayo ng background, diba? You can be married and yung sila hindi, or magkaiba man kayo ng religion. Usually talaga you would click if pareho kayo ng outlook sa buhay, morals nyo, yung values nyo, the same align. Ayun. So, magandang magkaroon ng someone just listening ear. It's really very important. Okay. If you could give us like one thing that give an impact to you when it comes to the people here or the culture here, what would it be?
Yung culture kasi dito ng Cambodia is very conservative. Conservative sila. So, culture nila is hindi naman ganun kahirap i-adapt. You just have to be very respectful talaga. If you want to be respected, you have to respect their
Especially nandito ka sa country nila, di ba? But ikaw yung makibagay, ikaw yung mag-adjust. Hindi pwedeng mag-ano-ano ka dito.
Kasi sila yung nagbigay ng opportunities. So, you have to take care of that.
Yes. Was there any moment in Cambodia that kind of changed you as a person?
Yes, very much, no? Para sa akin, very special talaga tong Cambodia kasi ang daming versions of me na nakilala ko. Dahil dito sa Cambodia, ang daming changes na nangyayari sa life ko in a good way, in a very good way. Kasi ang dami kong nadidiscover na, capable pala akong gawin to. Alam mo yun? Yung parang, kaya ko naman palang gawin to. Parang ganun siya. And Cambodia will always be my second home kasi it teach me a lot of things to be a better version of myself. And alam mo yun, yung community where I am in right now, nag-help siya sa akin how to properly and respectfully communicate with other people, to listen. Kasi dati alam mo yun, I was not a good listener talaga. Lang ako yung nagsasalita, hindi lang ako yung nagkikwento. So yun yung biggest impact ng Cambodia sa akin. And to be very, to live a simple life. Kasi dati I was dreaming of going to bigger countries like Europe, mga ganyan. And I became very frustrated. Kasi gusto ko talaga dun mag-settle. Gusto ko dun mag-ano. But God has really other plan. Sabi niya, no, dyan ka lang. Kasi my plan for you is very simple and it will, fulfill you. So, ayun. I'm just trusting where God leads me. I mean, alam mo, kung saan man ako dalhin ni Lord. Sa buhay ko ngayon, but I could say that I'm very contented kung anong meron man akong.
Okay. So that's really very nice, no? Na minsan talaga hindi natin maintindihan kung bakit tayo nasa isang lugar, bakit tayo dinala dyan, bakit ito yung ginagawa natin, but it really would make sense in the end. I really believe that na si Lord talaga is ilalagay ka niya sa isang lugar kung saan dun ka needed,
Yeah.
dun ka mag-grow, and you will become that person that He planned you to be. Diba? He will send you the right people talaga. So we just really need to trust Him and trust the process. Based dun sa lahat ng napagkwentuhan natin, your journey, galing sa Pilipinas, papunta dito sa Cambodia, and even before that, the other countries, what does success means to you?
Ay, grabe. Yung dati yung success ko means parang milyonarya na ako at may bahay, lupa, and you
Yep.
know. Kasi dream ko talaga, same ng husband ko, magkaroon ng parang, alam mo yun, village. Kung magkasakasama lang kami lahat. Pero, alam mo yun, when you reach a certain, you will reach a certain point in your life na may mga bagay na hindi talaga mag-align sa gusto mo. So, kumbaga para sa akin, para sa akin ngayon, successful ako kasi na-achieve ko yung peace of mind ko. I don't have to prove myself na parang kailangan kong ma-achieve to just so that people will appreciate me more.
Yeah.
Para dun, kasi dati parang grabe, parang pinapahirapan ko yung sarili ko kahit hindi ko naman pala talaga siya gusto by heart kasi nag-aaral ako, nag-enroll ako sa ganito, I ended up lang na tired. Happy ako. I'm very happy with my life right now. And I'm happy that I am surrounded by very supportive people. So yun, success yun para sa akin.
I think that's a very beautiful definition of success. No? It varies from person to person. It's really very personal. It's a very personal definition na pinaplan maging OFW. What would be your advice to them?
Okay. Para sa akin kasi, you have to, when you have an ideal country na pupuntahan nyo, you really have to do research for that country. Palaging masaya.
When your OFW journey eventually ends, no? Mag-i-end naman talaga yung journey natin.
Yeah.
What do you hope you can say you accomplished?
Nagagawa ko yung mga bagay na gusto ko. Kasi my goal talaga this time is gawin ko yung mga bagay na sa tingin ko ay makakatulong sa akin. At yung mga bagay na gusto ko, only the possible things na kaya kong gawin. Boundaries ko at sa mga taong gusto ko talaga. Naging intentional ako kumbaga sa buhay ko. Parang ganun. Parang I could say na very accomplished ako. And of course, dapat may ipon. May ipon.
Yes,
ipon,
financial
kailangan.
freedom.
Yun.
Yun naman talaga yung goal natin. But tayo next abroad, diba? Good. Ayun, Mel. Actually, that was my last question before our...
Okay.
Wait lang. I-transfer ko lang sa phone ko.
Sure.
Para siyang fast talk.
Ay, paray.
Fast talk ni Tito Boy. Okay, let's go. Philippines or Cambodia?
Cambodia.
Filipino food or Khmer food?
Filipino foods.
Beach or city?
Pwede both.
Phnom or the provinces?
Provinces.
Tuk-tuk or motorcycle?
Tuk-tuk.
Filipino friends or Cambodian friends?
Filipino friends.
Early morning or late nights?
Late night.
Save money or travel? Oh my God.
Both. Pwede both. Possible naman ang both.
Okay. Favorite Cambodian food?
Favorite Cambodian food? I forgot the name, but sour soup siya na with beef and pineapple.
Filipino food that you miss?
Humba.
One Cambodian word that you know?
Ako siya.
One thing you miss about the Philippines?
Oh, of course, my family.
Okay. One thing you would change about your OFW experience?
Nothing.
So to end our interview today, I have a closing question for her. Behind every OFW is a story that people don't see. Tell me your story in one phrase or one sentence.
It is an unexpectedly beautiful journey.
I see. So, ayun. Thank you so much, Mel, for your time today. It's
Thank
a
you so
really
much.
very beautiful conversation that we have with her. And yes, hopefully it get to inspire those Filipinos who also aspire of going countries, of exploring the world at your own pace din naman. So, thank you so much for listening and see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.